Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one was actually sent in by Aristodemos, who does the coffee cups. He's the organizer of that, so he actually sent me just a ton of replays of highlights. This is from the 5th tournament. The 6th one has already happened, so this is a little bit further back, but it's still a good replay, so who cares where it's from, right? It's all good. So this is actually Loupi versus h455566hh. I don't know, letters and numbers. But hey, mate, hey, I've cast replays from both of these guys in the past, but don't expect me to remember all of the numbers. I'm not good with numbers. But anyway, Loupi here is playing as the Dark Elves, and I'm just going to call him B. Yeah, I'm just going to call him B. Is that good enough? Might be. He's playing as the Tomb Kings. So here you can see Malekith up in the skies, a couple of Cold One chariots, which I think are brilliant in this matchup. They're just so good. They're vital. A vital bit of the toolkit, I think. That missile damage with a big armor piercing on the missile damage. They're quick enough to outrun basically anything that can seriously threaten them. And they have a lot of great armor piercing and anti-infantry, so they can get stuck into melee really nicely. And especially now, Primal Instincts, you know, with that change that happened a few months ago, they don't rampage as often as they used to when the game first came out. It used to be 50% health, the chariot was worthless because it would just stay in combat and die. It sucked. Now it's 20% though, so you've got to go really wrong for it to get wiped out. Usually it's the unit's done anyway, you know, by the time it rampages, which is awesome. And the little bonuses it gets, you know, with the extra melee attack, it means that it will put up a bit of a fight anyway. So here, bunch of Dread Spears in the back, Corsairs in the front. The Corsairs are pretty great here because they do have some armor at 80, which isn't too bad. So against things like the Tomb Guard and all the rest of it, they can perform really well against them. They're very cost effective because they do have the anti-infantry and alright weapon strength, but that armor keeps them going for a long time, and the anti-infantry helps cut through that, and they don't have to worry about having armor piercing themselves against Tomb Kings, not against the infantry. Also here you can see there's some Doomfire Warlocks and Sinesh's Harvesters, so plenty of free spells. There's also a couple of Harpies that can help bog down anything in the back line, whether it be archers or Ushabti with great bows. So, pretty cool. Over here, big army. Very wide lines here. Tons of infantry, so chariots should have a good time. So here you can see Tomb Guard, Nehekara Warriors, Skeleton Spearmen, Ushabti. So, just, yep, 3 Ushabti, just standard ones. None of the great bow nonsense going on, which I like. I appreciate that. Great bows, they're so passé, you know, they're always being brought. So, this is nice. Also, it's Grand Hierophant Ketep. You never see Grand Hierophant Ketep. So again, beautiful change. Also here, there is a Tomb Prince. That anti-large and armor piercing of his will definitely come in handy. But yeah, just swathes of enemies and some archers in the back. But not overdone. Not overdone the archers. It's mostly just hordes of infantry, which is super interesting. It's very unique. So, speeding things up, you can see this is a little unfair, the map. Aristodemos, why did you let this map be in it? I mean, come on, man. This is harsh. This is harsh. But I mean, both have got to be attacking, right? So, you know, there's no one person really gets an advantage because they have to come down the hill as much as these guys have to go up. So they can always just get some shots off. But there's going to be things in range of their archers. It's going to keep them from having to run all the way up the hill and end up in a bad engagement. So Malekith is starting to move in. So you can see he does have Soul Stealer and the Gaze of Malice. So very scary stuff. You know, he'll be able to bowl over a ton of skeletons if he wants. And basically just nuke a big clump of enemies, especially if he's on the ground. He's going to be a big target. A lot of people are going to try and get on top of him. And here we go. Gaze of Malice. Great way to just crush archers. Archers with only 10 armor, they get killed so quickly by just such a cheap, you know, easy ability as Gaze of Malice. It's not a big punishing ability, but you don't need a big punishing spell to punish skeleton archers. So here, Neri's Incantation of Protection, which I think is a bit preemptive. It doesn't look like anything else is coming for them. So the extra physical resist, I'm not sure is going to help much. So some Archer Fire, but honestly the Cold One chariots, they have 110 armor themselves. They are hard to kill. They are hard to kill, for sure. You know, as much as I kind of dislike Ushabti great bows, they'd be ruddy handy right now. They would be super useful. There are the Harpies trying to stop that nonsense, but still, you know, they just help hitting those Cold One chariots, because they're quite big targets. You can get some really good damage into pretty quick. So now you can see the Tomb Guard are getting charged through, and just a defensive posture of the Black Ark Corsairs here. The Cav aren't really getting involved just yet, and they're going to have to pull out because the Ushabti will be able to catch these guys. And they do have the armor piercing. They are anti-infantry, sure, but 24 melee defense against the 23 melee attack. You know, both pretty bad stats for each of them, but it's enough to get some damage into those Cold One chariots. So, pretty grim. So, Malekith still getting a little bit shot. Just a little bit shot. And here you can see the Harpies are whittling down these skeleton archers, but they are getting whittled down themselves, but it's keeping them busy at least. You know, it'd be nice to get them to crumble, but it looks like they've stabilized pretty happily, so it's not going to be so easy. So, Cold One Chariot still trying to whittle down some of the infantry, and they're getting some good work done. But as they're going, they're shooting, and that armor piercing is going to affect the Ushabti quite considerably. It's going to do some really good work, but it looks like one chariot has been caught out. Another Gazer Malice over here, all but wiping out these skeleton archers, and the Harpies did manage to pull out again. Here, again, there is Incantation of Protection. I do wonder why. I mean, just casting a spell, it will trigger a minor heal, but I do wonder if there's some trick that I don't know about, where it'll actually limit the amount of damage that crumbling does. Because I wonder what effect crumbling is, if it's just a static health decrease, or if it's actually taking physical damage over time. That's something I'd be interested to find out, if you guys know, because I have not seen that trick, and it seems a weird thing to keep casting that on them, given the fact they've already been hit, right? They're not under any pressure now, so I'd love to know. I'd love to know. So, over here, you can see Cold One Chariot's getting really caught out, but he's managed to bait in a Soul Stealer, and now Malekith is coming in with his own massive weapon strength. But these guys are fleeing. But the beauty of it is Soul Stealer is a sticky spell, as I like to call it. Once it's been cast, anything in that blob is going to be affected by it the whole time. You know, it doesn't matter if it's attached to a unit. If that unit runs off, it's not going to affect anything else it's running towards. But also, nothing will be able to escape that circle. They won't be able to escape the damage. You know, once you're lumbered with it, you're lumbered with it. It's that simple. So, pretty cool spell in that regard. It's not the same as Final Transmutation that you can outrun. You know, once you've been hit by a Soul Stealer, you've been hit by it. There's no undoing that. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I do like those little changes. So here, Chariots once again trying to deal with some of the infantry on the other flank now. So you can see the Ushabti are trying to react on the other side as well. And seriously, the Tomb Kings have to work overtime to try and keep these guys off them. It is not easy. Still 3 chariots in each unit as well. But it looks like these Ushabti, they could double back and get on top of these, but it looks like they haven't. Looks like they didn't manage to catch them out. They could have caught out that unit, I reckon. But with Malekith so close, it would have been pretty painful. It would have been pretty painful, that's for sure. So, still guarding the high ground, which is real rough. So here, another Gazer Malice, helping to get these guys to finally crumble. There they go. And some additional damage on the other archers, too. So, here you can see Blackout Corsairs finally starting to probe, because he doesn't want to have his Cold One chariots getting risked quite so much, and it's about time you stop toying with them and hold the high ground, right? At some point, you've got to get stuck in, or, I mean, come on, where's the sportsmanship? So, good on Loupi. He's charging in. He's charging in. He's getting involved. And honestly, just having a bunch of infantry clashing, it keeps a lot of stuff pinned, and it makes it harder for the Tomb Kings to react to any attack. So this is beneficial, regardless. So over here, you can see Malekith getting attacked right on the side, so that way, it triggers that leap animation through the unit. It's always good to get that flanking attack with a dragon. You will be able to launch yourself through it. And here, Doomfire Warlocks, great damage on these guys. So really good if you just want to nuke something quickly, charge them in. They're quite flimsy, of course, but if you just want to come in with the help of a dragon and nuke something, they can do a good job of it. Also, another Soul Stealer on these guys doing some good damage, but the heroes and lords are fine. And now a bunch of other units are running in. You can see the Ushabti just played havoc on these Corsairs, and that's exactly what they're good at. You know, Corsairs, they're great against the infantry, but with the backup of Ushabti, it means you don't get the luxury of, you know, of being able to rely on your Corsairs to hold the front line. So, over here, another Soul Stealer has been dropped, but I'm not sure if it really hit much else. It hit, yeah, a few other bits and bobs, but nothing too valuable. Nothing too valuable. So, Chariot still trying to push on in through. Doomfire Warlocks trying to find where they want to engage. And over here, Power of Darkness. The Harpies are kind of used up at this point, so you may as well get some more Winds of Magic out of them. So, very nice use of that there. So, they're going to be charging back in, finding something to probe, I'm sure, and Malekith is starting to get a little bit surrounded. Back here, you can see that the Ushabti have been now summoned, and they will do a fine job against all of this infantry. It will help swing things. Sensuous Harvesters, sorry, Doomfire Warlocks, Sensuous Harvesters are over here. They're all pulling up and around, and you can see they're going to try and get into those skeleton archers and get rid of them, but they're almost out of ammunition at this point, so there's almost no point doing that. It looks like this is going to be another Soul Stealer. Oh, Maybe not. No, his Ooze takes an Incantation of Desiccation. Beautiful move there to limit Malekith's ability to fight. But you've got to keep him bogged down or you're kind of screwed. Luckily, though, the Cold One Chariots just blocked his escape. And the Tomb Guard, the Tomb Kings can push forward with their Ushabti to get on top of him. And they will be able to register some hits a lot more easily while he's got that procced. But all of the Dark Elves have started piling in. It's going to affect all of them, though. They're all going to start taking damage, because they can't just pick and choose their engagements anymore. They have to get Malekith out of there. So they're all getting involved, and Snesh's Harvesters have taken a ton of damage in the interim. A lot of them are getting bogged down and killed. It's pretty bad for them. Doomfire Warlocks, though, they're having a whale of a time killing Skeleton Archers, just blasting them with their, with their hand lightning, their sort of hand psychic blasts. I don't know, whatever they are. They're pretty cool. So over here, you can see the Cold One Chariots. Now, all the Ushabti are over here, trying to deal with the big threat of Malekith, and it means that the infantry engagement can be helped out a lot by the Cold One Chariots. But the Ushabti are back, and they're getting involved. Another Soul Stealer trying to whittle down these Ushabti and doing a ton of damage to all the infantry as well. And most of all, it is healing Malekith. But I still think I would have tried to go for a slightly different clump. It looks like, Grand Hierophant Katep and the Tomb Prince were trying to stop the Doomfire Warlocks. If the Doomfire Warlocks have got a rear charge into this lot, I think Malekith could have got all of them in that. And that would have been very beneficial. He could have even dived in and started doing some work again. Like he is now. So here you can see Grand Hierophant Katep and the Tomb Prince are trying to chase down the chariots. They have to be stopped. They've put in so much work. But you can see so many of both sides' units are so injured. It's looking pretty bleak. It's looking great for the Dark Elves, but their infantry has just been getting charged by everything. All the Ushabti, they don't have to be in that engagement for long. All of these units are very susceptible to Ushabti, and it shows. It really shows. Malekith really getting stuck in there, and over here the Lords and Heroes are fine, and that's a serious problem, because you're running out of things to kill these guys with. These two will be able to gang up on Malekith if it's just Malekith and them left. So over here, little Doom Bolt, just trying to whittle down these Skeleton Spearmen. I'm assuming, it's a free one, isn't it? It's the Doomfire Warlock. So it's just a free little Doom Bolt. I probably still would have tried to use it on a Lord, but it's a bit tough sometimes. It doesn't do much damage. I think it's a lesser Doom Bolt, or am I thinking of Marathi's ability? Yeah, I think that's Marathi's thing, is a lesser Doom Bolt, her bound thing, the Wand of Coradron or whatever. So anyway, over here you can see the Ushabti are getting real pinned, but there's that Soul Blight going down there. Their armor has been lowered quite a bit, but there's not much to capitalize on it. You see the Dread Spears are kind of out of there. The Corsairs are out of there. Now Spearmen are coming in the other way, and Malekith is totally bogged down here. And over here, Doomfire Warlocks starting to push in again, trying to get a little charge into these guys while they're not braced, and try and put some damage. But the thing is, all of these cheap infantry, they're not going to just break, right? They're not going to break and run off and free up room. They're going to stay there till the last. Even if they start crumbling, they're not going to disappear immediately. They're going to still be fighting. So it is very difficult, once you have a unit caught out by the undead, to get out of there. And that's exactly what's happening here. Malekith has all but had it. This would be the perfect time to use a Soul Stealer, but he's used 3 already, I think. Actually, he must have only used 2, I think, because Snesh's Harvesters had a free one. So, yeah, maybe he could get another one out before the end of the battle, provided he can stay alive. So here the chariots have to charge in, despite the fact there's all these Ushabti here. Word of Pain on them, try and slow him down a bit. Slow down the killing anyway. And Malekith is trying to get out of there, but these Ushabti won't let him go. And over here, Snesh's Harvester's trying to deal with Katep, and Katep is pretty flimsy. So he is taking mad damage right now. If Malekith could get up into the air and get a nice breath attack on these guys, I would love to see that. So another little rear charge, just softening all of these guys up, keeping them in a blob. That's the thing, is keeping them in a blob, and here comes the breath attack. That's the thing, you want to keep them all together, and not half bad. Not half bad, that one. These Ushabti still look like a bit of a problem, but Malekith can now go for Katep, and he hits so hard. Katep is going to be a lot of trouble. Here, Snesh's Harvesters, despite being so injured, they are staying in this blob to try and hold the Ushabti back. Over here, you can see the Doomfire Warlocks are staying fighting these guys to try and keep these guys from joining the fight. There is a lot of that, just keeping something in a fight they don't want to be in, so another fight can go your way. But now the Tomb Prince has come for Malekith, and with that anti-large and armor piercing, he can hit him ruddy hard. But luckily with the Cav, nothing can really chase him. But it looks like the cavalry has all but had it right now. It's a problem. It's definitely a problem. Cold One Chariot trying to get on Katep as well. And this is looking really grim. But I think what it boils down to is that Tomb Prince seems fine. That Tomb Prince is fine. There is nothing that can go toe-to-toe with him anymore. Malekith would have been able to do that earlier. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. There's the Soul Stealer, and a beautiful move to get Hierophant Ketep out of there. He might have just been chasing Cav, but it saved him. And here, again, you're forgetting that it's sticky. These guys are still going to take the damage from Soul Stealer. It's hit them now. It's already hit them. And Malekith is suddenly a bit healthier. It's not great, but it's better. So now, Cold One Chariot's charging in, trying to keep these guys busy. But this is a goon squad now. This is a goon squad. You attack one thing, the others will be able to attack you. There aren't enough Dark Elf units left to be able to stop these guys. But it looks like he's going to try. He has no choice. Huge hit on Ketep. Snesh's Harvest is staying in this fight, and it looks like the Ushabti are starting to run out of steam. They are starting to run out of steam, which is great. And what spell is that? Oh, there we go. That was Neri's Incantation of Protection. Not a bad call, but Snesh's Harvesters do have the magic damage, so they can still put in the work. So long as they don't run away, oh, off they go. But yeah, Tomb King's doing amazing to last this long. It looked so bleak from them to begin with, and my word, the reach on that dragon. Ketep being torn to pieces, but the Ushabti are here, keeping Malekith slightly pinned, and the Tomb Prince can get some good hits on him. This is bad. This is bad. Malekith trying to get out of there, but he's taking damage as he runs. And, wow, even Ketep is getting in. That's the thing. Tomb Kings, they know they have to kill Malekith. If they can stop Malekith, they could win. Because there's no way these Dread Spears are going to win, you know, on their own. But look at this. He's just not moving. Malekith just isn't moving. Because that one Ushabti just blocking them in. My word, this is so close. This is so close. The Ushabti are crumbling, though. They're not going to have that additional mass. But it will still be the Tomb Prince and Grand Hierophant Ketep. Malekith lands for Ketep. The Tomb Prince can still get in there. But look, he's got himself completely surrounded here. That's probably the biggest mistake. That's the biggest mistake of the game. That sealed it. I think that sealed it. There's no way. This Ushabti couldn't even catch up to him before he keeled over. And now it's just the Tomb Prince. And the Tomb Prince, 70 armor is pretty middling, you know. The Dread Spears will be able to get some good damage into him, and he doesn't have the best sort of sweeping attacks. He doesn't have good splash attacks, so he's not going to be able to kill the Dread Spears in a hurry. This is bad. This is very bad for the Tomb Prince here. And now Malekith coming in for a big old hit. There goes about a third of his remaining health, and with the Lord recently deceased, his leadership isn't going to hold for long, and that is army losses. God damn, Malekith. You scary. That was amazing. That was mad. That was mad. I mean, watching this, that first 5 minutes, I thought, this could be one of those long, drawn-out fights where I just think, come on, Loupi. Like, get involved. Right, let's have a fight here. Let's do a big battle. But the battle came, and god damn, that was unbelievable. So close. Beautiful fight. Just amazing. The way it escalated was superb and tense. There was no cooling it, you know? There was absolutely no cooling it. I say that. I think early on everyone would have said Dark Elves, but I don't think anyone knew that the Tomb Kings were going to put up such a fight. Unbelievable. Absolutely wonderful fight. Beautiful. Absolutely loved it. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, as I'm sure you did, then please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.